welcome to our channel. Good to have you here. Now today we are going to be discussing an exciting topic, and that is the most common reasons why Canada visa applications get rejected. But before we dive right into this topic, don't look at these recent statistics. Hey, don't worry. I know you'll be wondering, like, will I also get rejected? Never mind, you won't get rejected if you stick around and watch this video to the end, as we're going to be sharing with you some common reasons, top common reasons particularly, on why Canada visa applications get rejected. And do well to like, share, and leave a comment. Firstly, there are different types of Canada visas. Now we have the tourist visa, study visa, the spousal open work permit visa, and so on. But in this video, we're going to be focusing on the study visa. So let's look at the eligibility criteria for study visa and the processing time. Okay, so we've talked about the eligibility criteria and required documents for study visa application, your Canada study visa application. Now let's look at the top reasons why this visa gets rejected. Alright, so number one on our list is incomplete application. You'll be wondering, how would incomplete application get anyone rejected? Or how will I even get rejected if my application is incomplete? Incomplete in terms of inconsistency, providing information that is not really complete. Imagine yourself in a form and you have been asked to provide required information, details, and you didn't do that. What would happen? That will actually get your visa rejected. So let's consider other reasons why your application will be rejected. But overall, let's look at some tips that will help you get your application to be complete. Okay, Mason Richard, we will be discussing with you all the reasons why Canada study visa application gets rejected. However, if you love this video, please do well to share, like, and subscribe to our channel. Now, over to you, Mr. Richard.
Thank you so much, Beauty, for that point. You shared fantastic points. So another thing I'm going to add to what she has already said, why visas are commonly rejected, is because of inadequate documentation. So you know that there are certain documents that are required from you when you're applying for visa. Now, most of these documentations are clearly stated why others are applied. So how are they applied? There are certain things you said in your SOP, for instance, that let's say you stated that you own a land, property, or you own a car. Right now, when applying for visa, you need to provide adequate documentation to back up those claims. Right, for instance, you could say you were married or you're married. You have to provide a document showing the proof of your marriage or proof of your union with your partner. Do you understand? So ensure that everything that needs to be provided should be provided. You know already that for Canada visas, you don't necessarily get an interview invitation. So your SOP is like your own interview. So you want to use that SOP and the documents you provide to prove beyond reasonable doubt why you want that visa. So that's another point you should take note of. So another reason why a lot of people get rejected is because of proof of funds. Now, it could be lack of proof of funds, it could be questionable proof of funds, however the case may be. So people get rejected because of this a lot of times. Now, here are some tips we've learned through the process working with different candidates. Now, one thing you should know is that because you need maybe a spread of like 30 days for some applications to show proof of funds, you don't want to have a lump sum enter or leave your account within that 90 days, right, or within the 60 days period of account statements that you provided. So ensure that there's a consistent inflow and outflow in that account, and all of them are within maybe similar threshold. So if you're having lump sum, whether as an income or as an outflow, for instance, is going to be questionable, right? So if you're going to be using somebody's account for your proof of fund, ensure that the person provides a letter for you stating that they know you, they state their relationship with you, and that they are actually the ones going to be sponsoring you. So they can also state in that their letter how much they're sponsoring with. They can stamp that letter, and you can also attach it. So it also forms part of that documentation I stated in my previous point, where I said there are some documentations that are clearly stated and the ones that are applied. So in a scenario like this, ensure you show proof of funds, ensure you don't have lump sum, and that would help you avoid rejection. So another point you should take note of is your motivation for application. A lot of times people get rejected because the motivation for the application is usually suspicious. Let's say, for instance, you studied an engineering course, and all of a sudden your next degree you want to go for a nursing program, for instance, or a caregiving program or a caregiver program. Now, that alone can raise eyebrows, because the question is, why are you moving immediately from engineering to this field, right? So it's either going to take you a lot to prove in your SOP why you're making that transition, and if that reason stated they don't buy it, they might reject your visa because, like it stated, the motivation is not clear or is suspicious. So most times this is another reason why a lot of visas get rejected. So our advice, or my advice, would be that when you're about to apply for visa, even maybe before applying for visa, when you're picking your course for study, always ensure that you pick courses that are maybe closely related to the course you did in your previous study, if it's for a higher degree, right? So that's another reason why visa applications are rejected. Sometimes submitting inconsistent documents can also make your visa application to be rejected. It could be from maybe your birth certificate, it could be from your name. Let's say the name written in one document is different from the name in another document, the age in one document is different from the age in another document. If you're found in such a situation, you need to, before applying, you need to go to a court and properly swear an affidavit, so that an affidavit that will collaborate or that will join all your documents together. So always ensure that there's consistency in your documents, be it your name, be it the schools you've attended. You have to ensure that they are consistent. Another thing that falls in line with this is that most times people get admission maybe because of their quest to study abroad. They try to get admission in just any school. Sometimes the school you're going to can also cause them to doubt your motivation for the application, right? So you want to ensure that the school that you're going to, that granted you admission, is properly registered, and they are even accredited for the said course that you want to go and study. So this is another reason. And the last reason I'm going to be sharing from my part why visa applications are rejected is when you don't have a strong tie to your home country. Now, you know that most times the people reviewing your application, they're also humans like you, and they don't want a scenario where you get stuck in their country. So they also want to know how affiliated are you with people in your country, or how affiliated are you with your family. So you need to also provide information to show that you know people in your home country, or you have a family in your home country. If anything goes wrong, you have people to go back to. So either in your visa SOP, you have to state clearly your ties to your country. Aside family, are there investments you have Are there clubs or organizations that you are affiliated to in your country? You have to state all that, and you also have to provide documentation to show some of these things, right? You could say, oh, you're affiliated to a certain organization. Let there be a documentation or a document or certificate to show that you are with this organization or you're a member of this organization, right? Then another way is if you're married, you have family back at home, show documentation for that. Another way to show strong ties to your home country could be landed properties, investments you have in your home country. Ensure that you provide those information, and it's going to help your application. So thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Richard, for sharing those wonderful tips and advice. And remember to follow these tips that we've shared with you. And don't panic, because if you do follow these tips, you won't find your visa getting rejected. If you love this content, please do wait to share, like, and subscribe to our channel for more engaging content that we'll be bringing to you. See you next time. Bye.